Thank you very much for watching us. I'm here in conversation with Ed Husic, the Labor MP, who's just back from Afghanistan, actually. We'll have a chat about that in a second. Janine Perrott from the Sky Business Channel and former Howard Government Minister, and very crestfallen yet excited. I don't know if he can be both of those things, Essendon fan. That'd be Peter Reith. Now, Peter, we were just talking in the break, because, of course, you were part of the SBS documentary show that ended up winning a Logie, and you actually were there, you were on stage. Did you enjoy your Logie night?
It was absolutely fantastic, and I compliment the TV industry for putting on a fantastic show. And look, I was so excited about it that I got the photo of me holding the Logie, and I'm going to get it framed, and I'm going to put it in my toilet at home, because it was just a great... Well, I don't want to boast out. I don't want to be so conspicuous in my boasting.
Pool room like the rest.
No, but I like... But this is the thing, Peter. You were telling us that your boast room is the toot. What else is in there?
I don't want to even go into that.
Well, I've got a lovely thing from John Howard. I've got, when I became a Minister for Defence, specially signed by the Governor-General. Loads of things. You'd be surprised. Sorry?
I just think it's great a Conservative politician enjoyed, or former Conservative politician enjoyed association with a public broadcaster.
Yeah, well, this is it. Well, we do pay for it.
I took the boast idea, I must say, from John Button, because he did one of those TV programs. He went into his... out into his garden, he opened up the outhouse, and there were all these trophies, and I thought, now that is the way to do it.
I think that's a very clever idea. All right, well, Don Burke's got to get back on the air so we can go and have a look at your place. We always learn something about Peter. We know about the bees, we know about the boasting thing. I like it. Anyway,
I thought the bees thing was very good.
I like it. All right, now let's have a chat about this NBN rollout that you were part of yesterday in Western Sydney. 1,300 homes in a council area of 301,000, but that's okay. The NBN's arrived in Western Sydney, and in such spectacular fashion. Have a look.
And even better, you don't need your parents' permission.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm back live. I don't know what happened then, kids, but I'm sure we'll get Andy back in a couple of minutes. But I tell you, just in observing from the sidelines, these types of things, and I now have seen quite a few of them, the kids are laughing and playing and enjoying the environment. And I think in terms of learning, anything learning where the kids are having fun is going to be something where they develop faster. And kids, would you agree it's good fun? Yeah! Say it even louder. Yeah! Fantastic.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Fantastic.
It isn't it? Oh, fantastic. All right, now, okay, being a little bit mischievous with my numbers.
Disgraceful. You've played this ad nauseum, this clip. And it's good to know that no broadcaster has ever had a problem broadcasting, ever.
Well, it's true. Well, certainly if we have a problem here, it's with our money, though.
Oh, is that the difference?
That's
of course.
Exactly. Now, okay, the rollout in your area, because I jumped onto the NBN's website this morning and I went through a lot of the Sydney suburbs that were announced yesterday as it's coming. Now, start of construction in some places doesn't even begin in the list of suburbs that we all got yesterday. It was all over the Sunday papers till December 2017. Now, even in your part of the world, where, okay, it's starting to happen. Yeah. It ain't everywhere, but it's being presented by the Minister as if, bang, this thing exists.
No, well, I mean, the thing is, too, we're releasing publicly a 3-year rollout plan to let people know where things are coming. Contrary to the type of questioning that you'll get on shows like your Good program, I get a lot of questions from people, when's it going to come to our area, because it's phenomenally, something that people want to see happen. So the other important thing, particularly as a Western Sydney MP, is a lot of the speeds actually quite good in the eastern part of the city, and they're not so good in the west. And it's good to have this infrastructure out here, because more often than not, what's always troubled people in Western Sydney is that infrastructure tends to get rolled out other places rather than in areas of high growth. So
yeah, there was a comment that you made yesterday that intrigued me, though. You said it at the lectern that there were businesses that were going to shut up if it didn't happen.
Yes.
What businesses?
Well, no, in businesses that had problems with the internet connections. There's a suburb in particular in Woodcroft. They have this, as most council areas do, they have these festivals, and the owner of the Gloria Jeans was saying to me he had 2 franchises, one in Penrith, one in Woodcroft, and he has web-based security equipment that allows him on his phone to see what's going on, and the connection was so slow at Woodcroft that it was impacting on his business, and a similar sort of thing was being said by the real estate agent that's in Woodcroft, where he's linked in with two other agencies, and he was saying that he was seriously looking at shutting down because the internet access there was poor. Now, work with Telstra to actually improve in the short term ADSL and cable broadband, but businesses saying that they need this more and more, that this is a part of their operations, and they will consider moving to places where they can get it better. That's a big issue, particularly for local representatives.
I've got to say, most people on your side of politics that talk about it, I've got to say, I like the way that you put it, because you actually spoke about real and normal people, not about the idea of, well, we're going to have these wonderful floating holograms that'll be turning up, which is the way the TV ads
Do you want me to talk about that?
No, it's rubbish. No. It's just rubbish. Now, Peter, obviously, look, things go wrong in political launches. I don't know, have you got any tales of maybe when you were a minister, you go to a media launch, you're there, you're announcing the policy, and smartasses like me make the most of the fact that the TV didn't work rather than talk about your monumental political achievement?
Yes, I suppose I have. So, someone asked me when I was first Shadow Treasurer what was the price of milk. That was
I hate that question.
gave me a rather bad start to my launch.
Yes.
But, yeah, look, it happens every time. Does it matter? No, it's just fluff. You know, it's neither here nor there, basically.
But what
and
about
even with the NBN?
Now, but what about the NBN? Do you is there something in what I was saying before about, and this was all over, particularly Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane yesterday, the government drop was coming soon to a suburb near you. You go on the website, construction doesn't start in some parts, at least in Sydney, till December 2017. The government is trying to pretend that this thing already exists. Now, if it was a highway, they in parts have completed the emergency shoulder. It ain't built.
Well, I mean, yeah, look, the thing's sort of been overcooked as far as selling it's concerned, and the cost is definitely going to be a hell of a lot more than what you've been told. And look, obviously people say, oh, look, if I can have higher, you know, broadband width, speed, etc., you know, that's good. But, you know, it's the wrong question, because it's only relevant if you tell people what it's going to cost them. And you know, this is the problem with this whole NBN thing, which is they've just gone off on a huge spending spree, and quite frankly, for a lot of people, you know, 25 megabytes or 50 megabytes, which is roughly what the coalition's going to produce, that's going to be, you know, a hell of a lot more than what most people want, even that. And yet Labor's aiming for 100, and quite frankly, I think this is just adding a huge amount of tax, debt burden on the Australian public. And what for? What, just so these guys can, sell some message of a hologram? I mean, it's just completely out of.
I wish it was all about holograms.
Well, hang on, the bloody advertising. Come on, but that's.
But in actual fact, I think what's important in the debate too is to recognise what the internet is doing for business right now in terms of productivity. In terms of Deloitte has already estimated about 26 million in productivity savings, because more and more businesses, consumers going online, doing things quicker and easier. And also in terms of economic value, what it's doing, 50 billion now, 70 billion in a few years' time. And the other stat that's really important, when people talk to you about the speeds and all this type of stuff, worldwide data is expected to grow 44 times over between 2009 and 2020, right? So it's one thing is about speed, it's also about capability, it's also about uploading as well, and the type of things that the businesses want to be able to do. This is as much an important economic reform in terms of bringing this infrastructure in as anything else.
Now, Janine, not to make Ed feel uncomfortable, but how big an issue do you think that the NBN is to people because of the way principally it is sold by the minister?
What I was going to say, the one point I wanted to make.
Because the thing is, it's not Ed who's on the telly every night. If so, different opinion.
What's extraordinary is since the coalition came out with their new policy, which was a lot better than their old one, and that was resoundingly knocked in the last election, this seems to be the one policy where Labor is actually ahead of the coalition, where the polling shows people prefer your policy. So I'm not surprised people like Ed are pushing it very strongly, because that's all they've got. Obviously, with younger people, a lot of people, it is popular.
All right, I'll play the mercy rule and I won't replay that NBN grab again. However, it is available on our Facebook page. Just go searching for Paul Murray Live, send it around, tell your friends, because guess what? You're paying for it. More in a sec.